Imagine throwing continuous punches at your opponent's face, most of your punches landing clean. His defense has nothing on your offensive speed and prowess. Blow after blow you smash onto his skull. Surely that's it. Surely you've knocked him out. But rather, he looks at you like a lion playing with his prey, unfazed by your blows. He eats each and every one of your punches that land, as though he is play fighting with a child. His eyes glare into your soul as he punches himself, as if he enjoys being hit. Nothing can stop this man. And there you are, pissing yourself. No one wants to fight that guy. How do you become that fighter? You do that by training your neck.
All right, so the first exercise that I do is neck curls, and this is training neck extension. So for that, I have a harness. I got this off Amazon. It's not that expensive, it's all right. And basically, put it on my head. People don't like to do this, like, you know, wearing a harness. Some people don't like doing it at the gym. They feel like they look weird. I mean, I train at home, so it's easier. But anyways, yeah, so you get your whatever weight you're working with. Right now I'm working with 20 kilos. I started off working with 5 kilos. Then I went 5 to 10 to 15 and 20, okay? So I loop the chain through, right? Like kind of what you do with a weight belt or a dip belt or whatever you call it when you do like weighted pull-ups or dips. And then I sit at the edge of my chair so that I can dangle the weight in between my legs. And then with my elbows resting on my thighs, I do the curls like that. I'm gonna go to 10, but you know, maybe I'll do some more. All right, so that's how you perform them. As you notice, I don't really like exaggerate the range of motion. That's because I'm more focused on not injuring myself and not putting my neck in a compromising position. So I kind of keep it from here to here. Just a short little movement. And I do that because I'm not trying to injure myself. I've had a few times when I've like overstretched at the bottom, and then the next day, this is like when I first started training my neck, and then like the next day, like the back of my neck would be feeling a bit tight or a bit sore, and I can't turn around properly and stuff like that. Or like one time I hurt it a little bit whilst training it wrong, and then I went into sparring and I got hit, and then like the way my head basically turned as I got hit, it just really wasn't good. So I make sure to not exaggerate the range of motion, just do enough. Basically, that's what I do. And yeah, so as I said, start off maybe 5 kilos, maybe 10 kilos, and then gradually build your way up, okay? I would only personally move up weight once you're doing like 30 reps with one weight for one set. Once you're doing that, move up the weight. This just makes sure that you're not gonna injure yourself. For the next exercise, you're gonna want a towel or like a top or something that you can basically rest on your forehead so that the weight doesn't hurt you. This depends on what weight you're working with. But anyways, the next one is, I call it neck sit-ups. Some people still call it neck curls. I call it neck sit-ups. But you're basically just training forward flexion, all right? So I put the forehead on the towel, forehead on my towel. I put the towel on my forehead, and I bring the weight up and I rest it on my forehead, have my hands to support it to keep it balanced, and then I basically perform sit-ups with my head. For the next one, you lay on your side, you put the towel on the side of your head, and you basically do the same thing, like a sideways neck sit-up, but you're actually training lateral flexion, all right? So I lay the plate on like the side, kind of like the corner of the top of my head, and then I just do sideways sit-ups.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of guidance when it comes to training your neck. All right, so first things first, you notice that I don't train rotation, so you can train forward flexion, lateral flexion and extension, but you can also train rotation. I personally don't care about rotation. Not that I don't care about it, I just think if you were going to train every single movement of your neck, right, for combat sport or whatever other sport you're training for, you're going to, like, it's going to be a long, tedious routine, right? It's going to be boring, right? Like, if you're training everything, it's going to be at least 5 exercises. And when you include both sides, it feels like you're doing 7, right? So it just feels long. So I just stick to my 3 movements, which is, the neck curls, the neck sit-ups, and the sideways neck sit-ups. All right. So my system, how I train it, is I train it every single day, right? Apart from the last 2 days, I didn't do it, but every single day, 4 days light, 3 days heavier, right? So on my lighter days, I do it with 10 kilos, and on my heavier days, I do it with 20 kilos. On my heavier days, it's after sparring. That's why it's a heavier day. Is in I spar, and then I do it in the evening, and then the lighter days are the days in between my sparring sessions. I do like 10 plus reps, normally like 15 reps, 3 sets of 15 reps for each exercise, each movement. And as my reps increase, as I get up to like 30 reps, I just increase the weight. I don't recommend that for you lot necessarily, right? Is in that routine. I recommend that you lot have a different frequency. If you're new, once a week is cool. Eventually, twice a week can be good. Over time, 3 times a week can be optimal. I only do it every single day because low-key, the days that I don't do it the days that I do lighter, act as active recovery. But that's especially when I'm focusing on a fight. That's just in general. When I'm focusing on a fight, a lot of the time I reduce the frequency because I don't want to fatigue it, leading up to a fight. But I recommend that you lot work with a weight that you're comfortable with, right? So do at least 15 reps of that weight, especially when you're starting off. Don't go to failure. Don't even go to form failure. With me, I stop just before I reach form failure. So a few reps in the bag, but like in the tank before form failure is where I stop. That's where I cut it out and I don't do any more. Going to failure is just like a recipe for a headache the next day or for like a tight neck the next day. So don't do that. Make sure you warm up really, really well as well. Going around your head, the other way, side to side, doing the exact movements you're going to be doing with like, I don't want to close my eyes, but doing exact movements that you do with a weight, without weights, and just doing that for like 20 plus reps. Do that. Warm up your neck before doing it. If you don't, especially as you go heavier, you'll start to pay the price. Start off with like 5 kilos. That's how I start off with 5 kilos. Eventually I did 10 kilos, then 15, then 20, right? Eventually I'll move up from here potentially. But yeah, that's how I would start. So 5 kilos, maybe 10 kilos is cool for you as well. Just whatever you can stay consistent in, basically, right? So once a week to begin with, get your neck used to it. Maybe twice a week, go light, stay way before failure with this one, especially when you're new to it, and then 3 times a week. Personally, I've been training neck consistently for like 5 to 6 months. I have trained it like all throughout my boxing training, my boxing journey so far, but I was never consistent with it because I had such a long routine where I trained every aspect of my neck movement, right? So that's why I've simplified it a lot more now. I do 3 movements because it's a lot easier. So when I decided to be more consistent, I actually scrapped every single exercise and I only did the neck curls with a harness, right? I only did them. So I'll do that every single day. Some days heavier, some days lighter. And then over time, after like a month or so of doing that, I started adding the neck setups to it, right? Just the forward setups for the front of my neck. And I would do that. And I did that for like a month or 2 months together, right? So eventually I've been training my neck for like 3 months, but I hadn't been training I hadn't been doing lateral flexion. And then I decided to start introducing that as well because I wanted to be more hook resistant. And then I started adding that. And then now that's part of my routine. But basically I took my time with it because if you can't be consistent, it doesn't matter how amazing the routine is. You might be like, oh no, I need to do every single exercise. A routine that you're not consistent in is a pointless routine. Even a suboptimal routine that you are consistent in ends up becoming an optimal routine, right? So that's how I train my neck. I hope this gives you guys some help. I do want to say I'm going to make a separate video about doing neck bridges. Never do neck bridges, right? Never do them. Don't even entertain the idea. It's horrible, right? Oh, but Mike Tyson did it. He's fine. He had to get surgery in his neck later on. But I'm going to make another video about that anyways. But I just want to say, don't do that. But yeah, this is how I train my neck. Train it safely. You become punch resistant. You can reduce brain damage. A lot of stuff, right? So yeah, man. Hope this video helped you guys out.